I was just having a great conversation, apparently with myself. Off to a great start this morning. Huh? Off to a great fucking start. Jesus. As I was saying, we start every morning here after a Mavericks win, but really we should do it every day in the Slightly Delusional Club, where this place used to be a place that we frequented late at night. The ceilings would be sticky. How are the ceilings sticky? Don't ask questions. The floor, the muck on the ground would be up to your ankles. I mean, we would just be having unfathomable times here. We're getting older. We're maturing. We're growing as people. Those days are behind us. Now we show up in the morning. The mornings are different for us here. Slightly Delusional Club should be Slightly Motivational Club. We have yoga classes, Pilates classes, hot yoga. We have a sauna. We want to get your morning started right. We have an espresso bar, a full breakfast buffet, fruits, parfaits, protein waffles, avocado toast, egg whites, turkey bacon. Whatever you want, it's there. Okay, folks? Let's really have a healthy end to the 2024 year as we transition into the quarter century mark. 2025. It's going to be a fantastic time for all of us, folks. All of us. Okay? Jesus. You see where a top 10 defense would be with the Mavs, but I need it to be PJ Lively duo, and Lively isn't starting. In due time, brother. In due time. Orlando Magic. Oh. Early sticker by Luka. Media gonna drop him out of top 5 players. Luka worst game ever as a Mav. Shooting wise, it was. That's what Nick told me at least. Was that it was shooting wise his worst. Shooting wise, it was his worst game. Which makes sense. I mean, he shot horribly. We're so spoiled. I mean, yeah, definitely spoiled. It was a pretty bad game, though. It is a testament to the Mavs, Slow Hoops fan soft as baby shit. What happened now? Live, slightly early, folks. Paolo Banchero is a star. The Mavs win ugly again. Cavs and Knicks square off in the Garden. In reality, no one is going to be talking about a stinker versus Jazz against Luke MVP case. Yeah, no. Nobody with a serious brain. He just thinks y'all are crucifying Luka by saying he shot terrible. Who's y'all? Like me specifically? Hot starts do matter, I guess. But as long as they're winning, it doesn't matter. Clay's been incredible, man. He really has. It's been a sight to see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, the Luka thing, and I'll touch on more here in a second, so I don't want to spend too much time on it now, but pointing out that Luka didn't play well last night. He's obviously pointing out that he didn't play well, whatever. If we're going to talk about every single fucking game, I mean, we got to talk about when players don't play well and when players do play well. But it's more so like, hey, this team still wins games. Despite, this team is now capable of winning games despite Luka not playing well. And I don't care if it's what team it's against. It's just an encouraging sign, right? And because in the past, they wouldn't have done that. You know, that's simple, really. Luka changed his shoes 4 times last night. That's true. The Jazz aren't a shit team. They're poop. That's a good way to put it. No, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. I'll spend some time talking about it today, but then I'll probably will never talk about it again. It's not like it's like, yeah, Luke had a great game tonight, but do you remember that game against the Jazz all the way back in October 2024? Look at the Jazz and Blazers roster. This league needs to expand. Yeah, expansion's coming. And yes, the Taylor Hendricks injury was absolutely brutal. All right, a couple quick little housekeeping things. Why am I so big? A couple quick little housekeeping things. We're going to move slightly early to 9:30. It just makes more sense at 9:30 for me. I wake up about 8:15. I like having some time to get settled in after I wake up. Go over some of the stuff I want to talk about, some of the stuff I want to miss, some of the stuff I missed the night before. So we're going to move it to 9:30. It's just easier that way for me. A little bit less in a rush. I logged onto Twitter and there was 5 fucking tweets in a row from aggregator accounts showing the replay. Yeah. Ty moves it 30 minutes later and it's still late. Was I late today? Hey, my bad if I was. I don't love sharing a bunch of videos of people, just gruesome injuries like that. I don't know. Who wants to see that shit? That's what I've always wondered. Who wants to see that? Who's like, dude, did you see that Taylor Hendricks injury? Look at this. And then the guy's like, whoa, sick. That's gnarly, man. Oh, man, it sends chills down my spine just thinking about that shit. That was crazy. Hopefully Taylor Hendricks, from what I saw on Twitter from Jazz people, Taylor Hendricks is an incredibly hard worker, and he'll be back. Just super sad, He was super excited about the work he put in the offseason, and for it to come to a violent conclusion 4 games into the year is sad. Yes, I saw Clay picking his nose. There are YouTube comps of gruesome injuries, like 12 million views. Put every viewer on a list. They're going to kill somebody at some point. At some point in time, they're going to be a murderer. Okay? I don't want those people anywhere near me. Anyone who's watched those is going to kill somebody. Please. Please. Man, there were a lot of games last night. What's up with there being so many games? My twin had a gruesome leg injury when we were kids, so I can't handle that stuff. Knock on glass. I've never had I've seen gruesome injuries playing sports for sure. I've seen people had to get. I saw some kid once in baseball had to get helicoptered off the field because of a leg injury. They used to have, I don't know if they still do this. They used to have like fields, like baseball fields that would double as softball fields sometimes. And so the mound, they wouldn't have like the built-in mound on the field. And they'd have to bring in this like literally roll in this like shitty pitching mound. And Partha, 25 months. Stein alluded to Gafford starting because politics. He's getting into politics? Okay, hey. Gafford, you got my vote, man. Who do you think will pick up AE tonight the most? That's a good question, man. With Cat gone, there's not as much size on this Timberwolves team. I'd have to assume PJ has to pick up Julius Randle. I mean, he just has to for the physicality aspect of it, which would mean you're probably getting Clay on Anthony Edwards to start the night. But anyways, yeah, that little roll out pitching mound. I saw a kid one time overstepped it, slipped, leg just snapped in half, basically. Oh. Ugh, God. All right. I don't even. That shit's just. Ugh. Here we go. Okay, folks. It is. What day of the week is it? We're already that lost. Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, 9:48 a.m. Central Standard Time. Beautiful morning in Dallas, Texas. The weather's starting to get. We're starting to get a little fall-like. It looks like in the weather forecast. I said I wouldn't do forecasting anymore, but there we have it. There's your slightly forecast for the morning. We had a busy slate of games last night. An incredible Paolo Banchero performance. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here. He has risen. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dallas Mavericks win over the Utah Jazz. A few other games of importance. The Bucks lose again, this time to the Celtics. They're 1-3. We talked about them a little bit yesterday. The Cavs and Knicks, great game in Madison Square Garden. We'll talk about that a little bit. Raptors, Nuggets, overtime. Nuggets get their first win of the season. Bulls and Grizzlies. I wanted to rewatch that game to see what happens. That was the first game I rewatched last night. So we'll talk about that game a little bit. Rockets, Spurs, Lakers, Suns, Trailblazers, Kings. A busy slate of games. I want to start here. If you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever, I want to hear your input on this as well. I'm wanting to start and chat. Give me some advice. We talked about this a little bit in the playback stream last night. I'm wanting to start a membership feature. We already have one on YouTube. I don't know how much. It's like what, $1.99 too. It's one of the cheapest options. I just put it on there. There's no perks or anything like that. I do kind of want to start a membership thing. It's just something I think you have to do, and I'm trying to figure out what could I put in there to make it worth it for you guys. I'm not a fan of paywalling content at all. So making videos and putting them behind a paywall is not something I'm all that interested in. I want everyone to see it, but I do want there to be, I do want there to be a reason to support the channel. I appreciate when you guys support the channel, but I want to finally give you guys something in return. So if you guys have any ideas, anything that you think would be worth it while to you, this is some market research on my end. Please let me know. I've had some ideas. Playback has a stage feature that maybe members could hop on stage and talk for a little bit. Slightly OnlyFans, that's on the table. That is on the table. Live stream reacting to games. I already do that. A 2K tournament. Can the perk be that you clean the fingerprints off those glasses? Do that for free. Unblocked slightly shirts. So I was thinking about maybe doing a t-shirt, but Post games after games, I guess that can't happen with Locked On Mavs now. Yeah, Locked On makes that a little bit difficult. I think other people make videos available a few hours early before they come out. Yeah, but especially during the season, videos are so topical that you got to get them out early. If I'm making a video about the game the night before, that needs to be out almost immediately. It can't be I'll post this tomorrow and you guys get it a day early thing. So that's where kind of some of the problem is. Slightly gives us his social security number and card details if we become members. That's on the table as well. We'll look into that. Just some things to think about. I thought maybe some merch. Maybe some merch. But I was also kind of thinking something along the lines of, I want to do daily videos or semi-daily videos on this channel. We've done a good job so far to start the season. Granted, the season just started. But maybe there's a feature where members can vote on the video we get. So the content's not necessarily paywalled. The content's not necessarily paywalled, but the members do get an added say into what happens. We get to sleep at Slightly's apartment, Slightly sleepover. Yeah, we'll consider that one as well. We'll put that one in the suggestion box. Voting is the best option I've heard. Thank you. See, and I'm the one that came up with that. That's why I'm here, guys. I genuinely think you should make long form content on other teams so the channel would grow, kind of like 3-cone at the same slip. Yeah, that's what we're doing this year. That's what we're doing this year, baby. That's what we're doing. I know I've said that a bunch, but it's happening for real. And yesterday I was going to do a Chet video. I was preparing it and everything. I just had to run some fucking errands. My time is so limited that just one thing pops into my day. And that's it. I feel like not utilizing the stage feature is a missed opportunity. Yeah, it probably is a little tiny bit. But, I treat playback like I'm an only child. Like, I want to be on there. But we'll figure it out. By the end of the season, this will be a Hornets channel. Slightly GM during season series for fans behind paywall. I don't think I have time for Slightly GM right now, to be honest with you. Get a piece of Finn's hair. Why? So you can clone him? There's only one Finn. Okay? There's only one of them. Just something to think about. Blue Tortoise Sports, $4.99. Join the Colin Sexton to the Mavs agenda slightly. I brought it up on Locked On last night. I brought it up on Locked On. I just feel like the Mavs, they're cycling through all these guards. They clearly don't feel comfortable with their backup guard position. Colin Sexton would be incredible. Simone Fontecchio to the Mavs. All right, let's get into some of the games last night, shall we? We shall. I feel like I feel like we have to start with Paolo Banchero, the story of the night in a lot of ways. 50 points, damn near a triple-double. Was 1 assist away. 50 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 16 of 26. What did he have in the first half? 36 points. An absolutely incredible performance from Paolo Banchero, who looks in a lot of ways, we saw this really in the playoffs last year, was when we really started to see, okay, we know this guy has the superstar body, right? The modern NBA star body. He's huge, he's strong, he's athletic. We've seen the skills. He's been a great player in the league already. It's just putting it all together, being efficient, and really just kind of fleshing out his game and building on his game. Eric, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. And last night was, the best game of his career. Bombing threes. That's something. And that little clip right there. We're watching clips on this if you're listening. This little Euro bump that he has, this little Euro bump is just a sick move, man. He's so strong that even Isaiah Jackson, who's a big player, Paolo gets going downhill like that and bumps you. It's over and done with. And he's just so explosive getting downhill that it's a nightmare for defenses. And if his jumper, his outside shot, we saw him hit some threes in this game. He hit some, tough middies as well. If that really gets going, that's a nice move right there too. That little low dribble pickup into a fade. If he gets going, then this is great news for the Magic. Their ceiling changes dramatically this season. I'm not talking about future-wise because I think their ceiling for the future is very high, but their ceiling this season changes quite dramatically if Paolo's around the top 10 just because their surrounding pieces are so good, their defense is so good. I mean, he's coming off a flare screen right there, shooting a catch and shoot three. That's a really nice look. And he's talking shit as well. I mean, he's a dog. That play was disgusting. Blocks a... oh, my Lord. Blocks a Miles Turner dunk attempt. He's talking shit mid-play, getting up the court. Just incredible stuff. And if you've been following Paolo for any period of time at all, you knew that this was in his bag, just waiting to be unleashed. And it was a slow second quarter for him, or second half. But then the fourth quarter, game got close. Pacers had the lead. Magic needed something. It's a tough hand one right there to tie the game. Paolo stepped up, 50 points. What a performance. The performance of the young season so far. And look at Cole Anthony pointing to the 50 on his jersey. Where's Aaron Gordon when you need him? An incredible performance by Paolo Banchero. Very excited to watch the rest of the season unfold for him. Yeah, there is some LeBron in his game. I mean, there just is. He's not as explosive as LeBron was. He's not as cerebral as LeBron was. He doesn't have the, generational playmaking talent that LeBron had. So that comparison but from a physical standpoint, the size, the strength, you see some LeBron. When he gets downhill and he puts a shoulder into you, that's it. You're cooked. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much you squat. It doesn't matter how much you deadlift. You're fucked. Okay? You're done. And then on top of that, he's a very, very strong defender as well. No, Paolo's a good playmaker for sure. But what I'm saying, and we talked about how good Paolo's playmaking is, but what I'm saying is LeBron is an incredible playmaker. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest of all time here. Paolo's not at that level. But still a very, very strong playmaker in his own right. So, an unbelievable performance by Paolo Banchero. Franz Wagner leaves this game with an illness, I think they said. So, I guess that's something to monitor. Franz's three ball has been looking a little bit better this year. If Franz is knocking down threes and Paolo's taking this leap that it looks like he might have taken, then we're cooking. The Magic are in business for sure. They're 3-1 to start the season. A few impressive wins. Mo Wagner is just one of the better bench. I was going to say bench bigs in the league, but he's just one of the better bench players in the league. He just brings his team so much energy. And they rely on him at times. Jalen Suggs was great in this game. 6 of 13 from 3. I just think the Jalen Suggs 3-ball thing is real. That was one of the questions. Was Jalen Suggs' 3-point shot last year like a real thing that the Magic could bank on heading into this season? I think the answer to that question is yes. They put up 41 threes. I looked at this number last night. I think there's 11 teams currently that are averaging 40 or more 3-point attempts a game. The Magic are one of those teams, surprisingly. And a big reason for that is Paolo, 9 attempts from 3. Paolo's if Melo wanted to try to play like LeBron. That's an interesting way to look at it. Or if Melo had the body of LeBron James. But man, he's a fun player, folks. A fun player. We got a Shams bomb. It's my turn now. After 17 NBA seasons, Rudy Gay is retiring. Gay, the number 8 pick of the 2006 draft out of UConn, averaged 15.8 points and 5.6 rebounds across 1,120 career games for the Grizzlies, Raptors, Kings, Spurs, and Jazz. Hell of a career, Rudy Gay. Hell of a career. I did an online NBA franchise once with my friends back in like 2K12 or whatever. 2K11 maybe, when Rudy Gay was really good. And for some reason, he would always enter free agency and be free. He would play for no money. Yes, and he was a 2K legend. He was incredible in that game. Sarah, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. Slow Hoops got mad at you for the Locked On Mavs post. Mad at me? What did I do? Mad at me? For what? What did I do this time? Anyways, man. Paolo, incredible game. For the title, I actually don't care. I'm being honest with you. Pacers. We talked about them a little bit yesterday. I'll give them some props. They had a great third quarter in this one, 39 points to come back. And in a game where it looked like Paolo was going to have one of these nights, when it looked like Paolo was going to have one of these historic nights, it felt like the Pacers were going to win this game up until the fourth quarter where it spiraled out of control for them. And there's panic in Pacerland. I've been monitoring it. I was monitoring it last night. Their fans are very concerned, and there's a couple of things that they're very concerned about. Thing number one, Andrew Nembhard's role on this team makes no fucking sense. And I'm not saying this in the sense of the Benedict Mathurin, where Benedict Mathurin, 14 minutes last night, not playing, not on the court. It's clear Rick Carlisle does not like Benedict Mathurin. I'd have to assume for defensive purposes, obviously, but also offensively, he can, be a little bit headstrong sometimes, but I feel like there are moments when the Pacers need a guy like that on the court. Nembhard's role is confusing because he flat out is the point guard of this basketball team. Now, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't make sense. They have Tyrese Halliburton. No, you heard me correctly. Andrew Nembhard spends way too much time on ball. And I know we all sort of pencil Nembhard in as being this breakout guy because he was so good in the playoffs last year. I wasn't that big of a believer in it entering the season, that he was like going to be what everyone thought he was going to be. They paid him a lot of money, obviously. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what on earth they're doing. Their offense is so strange to me right now. Their third quarter, they put up 39 points. A lot of that was Tyrese Halliburton doing Tyrese Halliburton shit. Man, give him the ball and get the fuck out of the way. Like, just, your offense is built to run a certain way. Just run it. You're supposed to get out quick. Tyrese Halliburton, yeah, I know you want to be an all-encompassing offense where everybody gets to do things and all of this. But get serious for one fraction of a second, please. B-Dot, 23 months. Love the content. Keep it up. You know I will, B-Dot. Thank you, brother. Anyways, another disappointing loss for the Pacers. The Magic are 3-1, and they look real. I had the Pacers ahead of them in the standings. Those are the two teams I was back and forth about. I kind of liked what the Pacers looked like, but man, to me it feels like this is a Rick Carlisle problem. Above all else, I don't love blaming coaches just because I feel like that's such an easy cop-out thing to do, and the reality is we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. But that's what it feels like in this instance. I don't know, man. I'm just enamored by Paolo Banchero. I really am. What a player. What a player. What else do we need to talk about? Let's get into the Mavs game. Let's talk about the Mavs game. I'm going to do a video on Derek Lively later today, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about this one. But we'll spend some time diving into it. After sleeping a little bit and thinking about this Mavericks game last night, this win against the Jazz, they win 110-102. They're 2-1 on the season. It's nice to win ugly games. It is the mark of a good team to win ugly games, right? Even though the Jazz are not a good basketball team at all. I haven't felt necessarily impressed by the Mavericks at any point in time this season, really. Still waiting to feel impressed by this team. They look good in the second half against the Spurs. That was fine. But that's really it. Like I would say they played like a really good basketball game in the second half against the Spurs. Like it was clicking. and they looked really good. That's pretty much it. Like, I think I've seen 2 good quarters of basketball from this team, and we're just kind of waiting for it all to come together. Last night was, sort of similar to what we've seen to start the season. Slow starts out the gate offensively for the Mavericks. Can't hit threes. They were in the teens shooting percentage from 3 to start this game. And it was just, the offense just looks rough. And they're just struggling to see shots go down. That's really it right now. They need like a 30-point shooting barrage game that I think will open up a lot of things for them. Clay's been great. 4 of 11 from 3 last night, 18 points. He's first 3 games. I saw a stat today. He's made more threes. This was actually kind of unbelievable. He's made more threes in his first 3 games with a new team than anybody else has with a new team in NBA history. I know the way I just said that was unbelievably stupid. Like, there's no way you understand what I'm saying. His 15 3-pointers are the most in the first 3 games of the franchise in NBA history. So that's a little bit surprising to me that that's a number. But, hey, great. It's working out incredibly well, right? He's averaging 19 points per game, 5 made threes per game, 45% from 3 over that time. Exactly what we thought we would see. Anybody with a brain, anybody with a functioning brain, this is what we expected to see from Klay Thompson. Luka, I'll say this real quickly here. Yeah, he didn't have a good shooting game last night. I thought he did other things well. I thought he was tilted. The refs were getting to him a little bit last night, and he was, tilted. And it wasn't how it was days of old where he would quit plays and be yelling at the refs. He doesn't really do that much anymore, and I give him props for that. Good work, Luka, on that front. But it is the I'm going to foul bait here for the next 5 minutes in an effort to prove to you that I'm being fouled. That completely throws the offense for a loop. And we did see that at times last night for Luka. But 5 of 22, 1 of 9 from 3. Nick told me on Lockdown it was his worst shooting performance ever in his career. And I'm monitoring some things here for Luka. I'm not concerned or anything with Luka's play. Let's not forget he missed the preseason. So this is basically Luka's preseason. Starting to get, his feet under him and get ready to go. There's a difference between being in shape, which I do think Luka's in shape right now, and being in game shape. I can play for 33 minutes with a high usage rate, and I'm ready for that. There's a big difference. Did you see one of the Mavs reporters said Luka was laboring after the game? Luka labors every day, so I'm not too worried about that. But here's one thing I'm monitoring. So far this season, Luka has barely gotten to the rim at all, it feels like. Really didn't get to the rim at all in this game. Settled for a lot of threes. He took 9 threes. 9 of his 22 shots were threes. Took 9 threes. Took a lot of contested mid-range jumpers in this game, which we've seen all throughout the course of the season for him so far. When they drop, it's good. Second half against the Spurs, his shot was dropping. Great. Suns game, shot was dropping. Great. He dropped 40 points. Last night his shot wasn't dropping, and I wish that he would just get to the rim in nights like last night, but he just hasn't done that this year. I'm not going to worry about it too much yet. I'll give it a couple more weeks, but I'm just monitoring that. I'm monitoring Luka's either inability or unwillingness to get downhill and get to the rim to start this season. And I think tonight, assuming Luka does play, the Mavericks play tonight, second night of a back-to-back against the Timberwolves. I think tonight would be a game where it's like, I need to force the issue. I'm getting downhill, and I'm putting pressure on the defense. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Because let's just be real. The Mavericks so far this season have played the Spurs, who aren't that great of a team. Opening night's always weird. The Suns in just a strange game where the opening tip, the Suns outplayed the Mavericks through and through. But opening tip, just felt like the Mavs were like half-assing that game in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know. The vibes felt very strange. It did kind of feel like a preseason game at times. And then they played the Jazz, who just aren't going to be a very good basketball team. So we'll see. Just something I'm monitoring. I'm really looking to see if Luka starts getting downhill more. And I'm starting to worry about our lob game. If we don't have it, we are relying on threes, and that's not a great recipe for success. Well, a big reason I feel like the lob game is gone a little bit is Luka's just not attacking the rim when he's getting downhill off these screens. Teams are just playing the lob. Luka needs to attack the rim and force the issue a little bit. Yeah, it is a long season, so I'm not too worried about it. But I thought the Mavs defensively were fantastic last night. P.J. Washington was fantastic last night, doing everything that you expected him to do defensively. Derek Lively was incredible last night. Like I said, I'm going to make a video about Derek Lively later today because I think he's had a tremendous start to the season, really outside of the Suns game, but that's neither here nor there. But Derek Lively looks the part. The interior defense for the Mavs has looked really, really solid. Again, outside of a weird, fucky-ass game against the Suns where there was a trillion whistles. But 28% from three, that was something we monitored last year for this Mavericks team. Their ability to win games whenever they were not hitting threes, something that in the Luka era they were never really capable of doing until last year. Another win last night, despite shooting under 30% from three. They rebounded well. Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench was an immediate impact, and he's played better than any of the other guards that they've been trying out so far. So interested to see what Spencer Dinwiddie's minutes look like moving forward. Has he kind of earned a spot? Time will tell. Kid was definitely experimenting with the rotation last night. Omax got some early minutes. That was shocking. Jaden Hardy played 5 minutes. So back to the doghouse. Jaden Hardy goes. We only saw 15 minutes for Najee Marshall, which I thought was interesting because I thought Najee Marshall played a really, really solid game last night as well. So I don't know. It's good. Early season is weird. These coaches, they tinker with the rotation so much. You're going to see that, I would assume, for the next few weeks from Kid as well, where you're going to think to yourself, why did this guy play 8 minutes? Why did this guy play 13 minutes? Why did this guy play 26 minutes? Like, what the fuck's going on? It's experimenting. At some point, they need to settle in on a rotation. But for the time being, it's experimenting. So, Klay Thompson doing his thing. Kyrie Irving, I thought was good last night when he was aggressive. Need him to be more assertive and aggressive. You know, that's kind of what we've been saying about Kyrie forever. But when he was aggressive last night, he was very good, especially leading that second unit. I don't think Luka is injured. I really don't. You know, maybe that calf thing was a little bit more, you know, a pain in the ass than we're giving it credit for, and he's just like, you know, really working his way back into being ready to go. But we'll see. We're talking like he's been horrible. I mean, this was really it. The 5 of 22 shooting was bad, but outside of that, I thought he did fine last night. He looked good against the Suns. Second half against the Spurs, he was really good. But this is supposed to be the MVP season. Let's pick it up. For Utah, you know, the Taylor Hendricks injury obviously is horrible. Beyond that, while we're talking about Taylor Hendricks, that rookie draft class, Bryce Sensabaugh, don't know if he's an NBA player really. Keontae George is it's an alarming start to the season for Keontae George, to say the least. And this is a player that I started to get very high on last year, but man, he's not an efficient basketball player. He makes some head-scratching decisions, and in year 2, we're hoping to see, you know, that's fine for a rookie guard, right? You kind of expect that out of a rookie guard, but year 2, you start to work some of that stuff out of your game, and we've really yet to see that from Keontae George. Long season ahead. Just something to monitor moving forward. They did a great job on Larry Marketing last night. Larry was 4 of 15 from the field, 17 points. So a great job on him. I thought they did a good job on Walker Kessler as well, who's had a really good start to the season. This Jazz team, they're pretty big. This Jazz team is pretty big, and they can beat you up on the glass if you let them. And I thought the Mavericks did a good job. They're bigs, they're interior guys. P.J. Washington did a really good job last night. So it's nice to win ugly. Early in the season, while you're working stuff out, it's good to get wins like this. So we move. Didn't the Cowboys have a Bryce Sensabaugh years ago? Yes, they did. I always think about that whenever I think of Bryce Sensabaugh. I always think about that. All right, some other games. Pacers Magic we've already talked about. Wizards Hawks, just full disclosure, I didn't watch a single second of this game, but I know Jalen Johnson popped off in this one. Really for the first time this season, 29, 12, and 7. Trae Young, 6 turnovers. This is something to monitor. 2 of 15 from the field as well. Trae Young had a bit of a stinker, but something to monitor is Trae Young's turnover numbers to start the season. They are very, very high. Very, very high. So just monitor that. Kind of a disappointing loss for the Hawks. It is so weird. Like, I feel like typically when the first and second overall pick square off against one another, it's a big deal. Like, it's talked about. It's maybe even nationally brought. It's maybe on national TV. Like, it's like, oh, the number one overall pick versus the number two overall pick. Didn't hear a single peep about it from this game. Sarr was bad. Ricochet was bad. And we move on. Bilal Coulibaly was awesome in this game, though. I did see his highlights on Twitter. But again, I didn't watch a second of this game, so we won't spend too much time on it. But the Wizards get their first win of the season. Jordan Poole drops 26, including a sick dagger. 6 of 8 from 3 for Jordan Poole. All right, Bucks and Celtics. The Bucks are 1-3. The Celtics just go on a classic Celtics shooting barrage. There was a hilarious clip that was going around Twitter of Peyton Pritchard. This fucking guy. The game clock gets down to 5 seconds, and Peyton Pritchard's three-point attributes shoot up 300 points. But Peyton Pritchard had an incredible game last night. But this end of the third quarter shot from Peyton Pritchard, Doc Rivers' reaction is one of the funnier things you'll see in quite some time. One of the funnier things. All things considered, that Pritchard three at the end of the third quarter wasn't even the craziest shot we've seen him hit. Let's see the cut. Let's see the cut to Doc Rivers. Does this one not have it? Oh. Terrible. This one is it. Let's see the cut. I've been there. We've been there with Peyton Pritchard, Doc. We've been there. Hands on the knees. I mean, that three right there makes it a 90-82 game instead of an 87-82 game. And you know you lost. I mean, that's what this Celtics team does. They go on a run, and you know you lost. That's sort of it. I have no idea how the Celtics can be beaten in a 7-game series. I'm going to tell you right now, they can't. I'm just this iteration of this Celtics team cannot be beaten in a 7-game series. I just don't think they can. I would love to sit here and tell you this team could do it, this team could do it, the Mavericks, if they do X, Y, and Z, could do it. It would have to take nothing short of a miracle. Just my honest opinion. And that pains me to say. It really does. I mean, you look at this. 18 of 47 from threes. Guys, they're getting up 51 threes a game, and they're shooting 40%. Do you know how fucking insane that is? That's absurd. The Celtics are boring to watch. See, I don't know. I don't know if they're boring to watch. I get where you're coming from in that they shoot threes every single play, but they move the ball so well that it can be enjoyable to watch at times. They don't miss when they are open. It is crazy, man. Torian Prince putting in Warcraft numbers. Warcraft numbers. What does that mean? Oh, yeah, Torian Prince was terrible last night. But 1-3 for the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Bobby Portis, I think the dream is dead there. I think he's last year, remember there was this persisting rumor that Grant Williams might get traded for Bobby Portis. I was so fucking out on that. I think the dream is dead a little bit there. And you look at their bench guys, and it's like Pat Connaughton is terrible. We've been knowing this for years. I don't know. I would like to think they're not cooked. I mean, Chris Middleton coming back will help tremendously. That'll reduce Torian Prince's minutes. He'll go to the bench. That'll reduce some other guys' minutes. But, I mean, at this point, if, like, Chris Middleton is this big swing factor for you, you're probably fucked. That guy can't stay on the court anymore. You know? He just can't stay healthy. You can't rely on a guy like that. Tough for the Bucks. 1-3. Celtics are cruising. I don't know, man. When do the Celtics play the Thunder? That'll be fun. Heat beat the Pistons. Again, didn't really catch too much of this game, or really any of it, to be honest with you. I do know Cade Cunningham. All right. You guys know my love for Cade, right? I think he's had some impressive moments this season. Somebody brought this up on Twitter, and I think it was a very good point, and I agree with them. At some point in time, Cade Cunningham, if he's going to be considered a star, whatever the case may be, you just have to take a game over in the fourth quarter. The Pistons, they've all year long, every single game they played, they're 0-4. They've been in it in the fourth quarter. It's been competitive. They've played a good first three quarters, and then they just sort of fall off of a cliff at the end of the game. A lot of that has to do with Cade Cunningham. His fourth quarter performances are terrible. Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. is good in this game. I saw somebody on Twitter, a Mavs fan on Twitter, was like, "You see Tim Hardaway? Like, I wish Quentin Grimes could." I was like, "Are we really fucking doing this? Like, this fan base is insane. I'm sorry. This Mavs fan base is crazy, man. What happened? What the fuck happened to this fan base? They were on Twitter missing Tim Hardaway 3 games into the season. I mean, what genuinely, what did happen? I'm being dead serious. Who do you think wins the game first, Pistons or Jazz? Probably the Jazz. Hopefully the Jazz. Okay. We got a lot of other games to go over. Cavs and Knicks. Whew. The Cleveland Cavaliers, man. They look good. They look very, very good. By a lot of numbers, they have the best offense in the NBA to start the season. A lot of that has to do with Mobley looking really good to start the season. A lot of that has to do with DG, the PG, who was awesome last night. His float touch, it looks like it's back. That was something that sort of abandoned him last year, was his floater. He looks confident. He was incredible last night, man. He was incredible. 34 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 5 of 8 from deep. This was a fun basketball game. The Knicks are 1-2 now to start the season. You know, I don't think that this was necessarily a bad showing from the Knicks or anything like that. Josh Hart did get injured in this game, and I haven't looked for any updates this morning, so I don't know what the update is on that. So just monitor that situation. But yeah, I did see New York sports got absolutely shit on last night. They lost like every single game they played or something like that. Even their MLS team. By the way, does MLS just go all year round? I mean, is there no off season there? I feel like they're always playing. Anyways, tough one for the New York fans. But this Cavs team is clicking, man. They look really, really good. They've always been a good regular season team. So in a lot of ways, them being impressive in the regular season doesn't mean much. But yeah, they do need, Dean Wade. I kind of like when Dean Wade is out there. He was a minus 14 last night in 28 minutes and had 1 point on 0-5 shooting. But they feel so big when Dean Wade's on the court. Obviously, that's Max Strus's spot in the starting 5 whenever Strus is back from his injury. And I thought Strus had a good season for them last year and is a nice piece for them. Although he is a little bit small. What they really need is like a Cam Johnson type. That Cam Johnson just fits like a glove on this team. And I'll be interested to see if they make a move for a guy like that at the trade deadline. That's something that they've really kind of been looking for the past couple of years. Because they're going to need it in like a 7-game playoff series. Even in like a 7-game playoff series. I know they won this game. But against the Knicks, they're going to need that size. and it to be somebody who can give you a little bit something offensively and not Dean Wade. So that's kind of something to monitor as we get closer to the trade deadline and stuff. But a great game from Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell played well as well. Aggressive, attacking space. And defensively, they just did such a good job on Brunson, who struggled a little bit in this one. 8 of 24 from the field, 21 points. Cat, 8 shots. I mean, that's really kind of the talking point from this Knicks game, from the Knicks perspective, is how uninvolved Karl Anthony Towns has been in the offense so far. I think he's averaging 9 shot attempts per game. I think some of that is we're 3 games into the season. This guy was traded for like a month ago. So you give it some time to gel. Give him and Brunson some time to sort of figure out each other's tendencies. Where do you want me to be? Where do you like to be at? Where do you like to get the ball? On pick and rolls, pick and pops. This is our synergy. Give it some time. But it is a little bit concerning. I've seen, I saw some Knicks fans on my timeline having a meltdown last night. Cat only 8 shots. Mikal Bridges, who I thought looked really good in this game. The Mikal Bridges stuff I think was overblown. The 3-ball, yeah, but he just does so many other things well. And when he's the 3rd, 4th guy on the team, it looks so much better. He does so many things well for you. But Mikal Bridges was pretty much iced out of this game in the 4th quarter. Look, you guys want to be honest about what the reason for that is? Why the offense grinds down to a halt? And why guys get frozen out? And why some guys only have 8 shots, whatever the case may be? You want to know the reason for that? It's Jalen Brunson. I mean, it just is. He's an incredible player, phenomenal scorer. He never really has been like this cerebral point guard. Yeah, he slows the game down. He's an isolation heavy basketball player. That's what he does. And the offense can get a little stagnant at times. That's just who he is. And that happened again last night. So it'll take. I'm not the Knicks defensively. I thought they looked good at times last night. OG is such a monster defensively. Offensively, he could struggle creating for himself. It's going to be hit or miss for OG Anunoby in that regard. But defensively, he was a monster. I mean, this wing tandem is incredible defensively. There's no doubting that. Josh Hart, 38 minutes, 13 rebounds. I loved his energy last night. Brunson just had a stinker of a game, and that's really kind of it. A shout out to Huck Porty. Huck Porty had a monster dunk that they called an offensive foul, which I don't really think was an offensive foul necessarily. Then Darius Garland hit a 3 on the other end. It was a massive 5-point swing that really kind of dictated the game. But Huck Porty's done some interesting things so far. But they're really kind of scrambling to find a guy off the bench, a big off the bench with Mitchell Robinson out, because Jericho Sims is not it. He's just not it. Brunson had the most dribbles, time of possession, and dribbles per possession last year. He's a heliocentric player without the all-time playmaking Luka has. Yeah, I mean, Brunson is a massive isolation-heavy player. So anyways, if Brunson struggles like this, the Knicks are going to have a hard time winning regardless. But they need to figure out a way for their offense to be more fluid. That's it. And I think that's going to come with time. Obviously, Cat's new. But let's not forget, Mikal Bridges is new. OG Anunoby only played, 21 regular season games with him last year? Like, this is still a work in progress. So let's just be a little bit patient, all right? I think they're going to be fine. But the Cavs look really, really good. The Cavs look really, really good. And this is a Knicks team that has bitched them in the playoffs. And if you're the Cavaliers, give it a few seasons. I don't think it'll take that long. If you're the Cavaliers, I think you leave this game against the Knicks. Granted, no Mitchell Robinson, but you leave this game against the Knicks thinking, man, I think this could be our year to beat them. They don't feel anywhere near as big as they have in years past, and that's been the thing that's really been our pitfall against this team. So there's something to monitor. Darius Garland, welcome back, baby. Never sold my stock. Never sold my Darius Garland stock. A really good basketball player. Happy that he looks confident and that his touch looks like it's back because the Cavs need it. And Mobley, yesterday we talked about Chet maybe winning Defensive Player of the Year. And if it was a possibility, I said absolutely it's a possibility because I think the Spurs will be terrible. Mobley, he'll throw his hat into the ring. He'll say, "Don't forget about me." Let's look at the award odds. Have these been updated at all? I'm kind of interested in this. Luka's still the betting favorite to win MVP. Zach Edey is the betting favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Although Stephon Castle is making a push here early into the season. Victor Wembanyama is now no longer minus odds to win Defensive Player of the Year. He was minus odds. He is now plus 130. Chet Holmgren has closed that gap majorly. Now, Cade is the favorite with J-Dub to win Most Improved. Okay. This early season shit's hilarious. Malik Monk is the favorite to win Sixth Man of the Year. Now, I am interested. Do they even have Derek Lively on this list? They have Jaden Hardy, but not Derek Lively. If Derek Lively is actually coming off the bench, look, they have Daniel Gafford on here, so they're kind of assuming that Lively will start at some point. But if Lively is still coming off the bench for the majority of the season, I think he'll have a very strong case for Sixth Man of the Year. I really do. But anyways, JJ Redick is second. JJ Redick is second, and hey, Slightly, did you lose your double chin? Congratulations, man. That's not easy to do. Thank you, CJ. That's really nice. That's really nice, dude. Your hairline's receding fast. What happens? Hi, buddy. Did you lose weight again? You kind of look like you're under 300 pounds. This message was held for review. Will you go on any fat loss program? You look a little chubby again. What a commenter. What a legend. Love you too, CJ. All right, what else? Grizzlies and Bulls. Nuggets-Raptors, I'm going to talk about this a little bit briefly. Look, I think if we're the Nuggets, yeah, this wasn't the most impressive win. Jamal Murray really struggled all game, but he made some plays down the stretch. I know, another impossible beauty standard for men. I mean, I can't win, guys. I can't win. But anyways, Jamal Murray struggled at the start of this game, made some plays down the stretch. Christian Brown's really been good. So that is a big positive for you. Just needs to get that three ball to drop, and if he does, it's going to be nice. Another 40-piece from Jokic. Aaron Gordon, I thought, played well in this game. I think Michael Porter has been very bad to start the season. I think you just take this. Yeah, the Raptors are terrible. Yeah, if Scotty Barnes doesn't leave with a face injury, you probably end up losing this game. You're very fortunate to get to overtime. The Raptors shit all over the court. It really had nothing to do with you. Just a Raptors pants pissing. But you take it. You take it. It's better than being 0-3. You take it and you do not apologize. And that's it. Dario Saric only 5 minutes last night. Why? Because he's shit. Look at the minute distribution, man. That's not sustainable. They basically played an 8-man rotation in Game 3 of the season. Westbrook's looked terrible. You just take it and run. You don't apologize to anybody. That's all I have to say on that. Nuggets really might run a 5-man playoff rotation. If they get there. That would be hilarious. Bulls and Grizzlies. I want to talk about this one. I want to talk about the Bulls and Grizzlies. For some reason, this one caught my eye, and I wanted to see how the Grizzlies ended up losing it. No John Moran in this game, on top of all the other shit they have going on. Obviously, Vince Williams Jr. out, Gigi Jackson out. I do wonder where those guys would fit in the rotation, though. But I guess I shouldn't wonder that because, my God, they play such a deep rotation. And I think this could be early season figuring some stuff out. To me, it's a little bit crazy when you're missing Ja Morant, you're missing, presumably, 2 other rotation players. Like, I'm just going to assume that Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams Jr. would be in the rotation. So you're missing 3 rotation players. You're still running a 10-man rotation, and everybody plays double-digit minutes. So it's interesting to look at what is going on with this Grizzlies team because they're one of the biggest question marks to me. I wasn't ready to pencil them in as this team that they'll be back and they'll be a top 3 seed. I think they're much more of an unknown than anything else. Let Yuki play. Yeah, let him get out there. Come on, man. But they are so interesting to me, and I have no idea what to make of them. They are a tale of 2 halves. Literally, I tweeted this stat out last night because I straight up couldn't believe it. But this has happened in every single game. They've blown 3 20-point leads in a row. They played 4 games. They've blown a 20-point lead in 3 of them. In the first half of games this season, they have a plus 26 net rating. Plus 26, which is first. I mean, they're shitting on teams in the first half of games. They had a 20-point lead in the first half of this game. In the second half, they have a minus 31 net rating, which is dead last. That's almost impossible to believe. I mean, that's 4 games, small sample size stuff, of course. But that is bizarre. Now, I do think part of it, and Jalen Wells, I saw a quote from Jalen Wells. He kind of talked about this after the game. Jalen Wells, who's been good for them, by the way. But he sort of talked about this after the game, that they're a little bit fatigued. They play at an absurd pace. I don't know if this is true or not. We're about to find out now, but I would have to assume they're the fastest team in the league currently. They are not. Actually, they're not even close. They're 13th. I don't believe that. That's a lie. They play so incredibly fast. In case you're wondering, Golden State gets out in transition more than any team in the league. 23% of their possessions are in transition. Thunder 2nd, Pelicans 3rd, Lakers 4th, Mavericks 5th. So there you go. But in terms of efficiency, the Grizzlies are one of the most efficient transition offenses. They're 2nd currently. The Kings are 1st. So there you go. Something to monitor. Something to keep an eye on. But anyways, Mavs defensive rating of 108.7. Welcome back, 2004 Pistons. Yep, they're back. They are back. PJ Washington is Ben Wallace. That's pretty much it. That's where we draw the line. But they play so fast, I don't think it's sustainable, and I think you see it play out in the second half. I think they need to slow it down a little bit. No John Moran in this game, so losing isn't the end of the world. But it does suck when you blow another 20-point lead. And it's like, who is this team? Is this team the team that is blowing everybody out in the first half? Are they the team that's getting blown out in the second half? Are they somewhere in between? They're probably somewhere in between, obviously. But yeah, Edie, I thought he'd have more of an impact on games early on, to be totally honest with you. Now, he wasn't really in foul trouble in this game, but man, he's lumbering. He's a lumberer, to say the least. Marcus Smart, they're done with him. I was monitoring some Grizzlies conversations last night. They are done with Marcus Smart. They want his ass traded to the Pistons tomorrow. Yeah, Edie took 2 threes, and I know he made a 3, and that was a big deal, but he took 2 threes in this game. They're not defending him out there. So he's not at all a threat from the perimeter just yet. They're basically letting him shoot threes. But Marcus Smart was, it's interesting. He went over 11. At what point do you, like 06, especially if you're kind of a role player, 06, 07, is that when we just pull the plug? 0 of 11 in 25 minutes even. So it wasn't like he played 37 minutes. Like, he was getting shots up there. He was getting some shots up there. Now, you look at the minute distribution here, and this is where the confusing stuff is. Now, it is early season. They had such a weird year last year. They're trying to figure out who belongs in the rotation permanently. But 24 minutes for Jaren Jackson Jr., 31 minutes for Desmond Bane. It doesn't make too much sense considering, again, they're already without 3 rotational players in this game. You would assume that your rotation would be a little bit shorter. And that your rotation guys would play a little bit more. But no. Not the Taylor Jenkins way. I'm not too concerned, but it's just they're an interesting team. I have no idea what to make of the Grizzlies right now. Through 4 games, they're probably the team that I know, like, I have the most confusing thoughts about. When you're that good in the first half and that bad in the second half, what the fuck what are you supposed to say? But a nice win for the Bulls. Zach LaVine's been really good to start the season. He looks good. I mean, just above all else, physically, he looks good. He looks explosive. He looks quick. So that's good. I thought Vooch was good in this game, actually. I know they hate him, but Vooch actually played pretty well. Patrick Williams sucks. He's terrible. He's absolutely awful. Just want to say that. Giddey was big for them as well, making connected plays and stuff like that. So, Ayo Dosunmu made some big plays down the stretch. Lonzo was a plus 16. He played 18 minutes. He had 6 points, was 2 of 4 from 3, 6 assists. All 6 of his assists were on 3-pointers. Welcome back, Lonzo Ball. I'm also keep an eye out on Julian Phillips. He's done some interesting things for me so far. And I kind of like his game. Well, keep an eye on him. So anyways, an interesting one last night between the Grizzlies and the Bulls. The Grizzlies are just such an interesting basketball team. I have no clue what to make of them. The Rockets beat the Spurs. I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch a second of this game. I haven't even looked at the box score. Jalen Green popped off. 36. My most improved player pick. Popping off. Rockets are 2-2 now. I know Wemby had a bad shooting game. 6 of 14, 1 of 5 from 3, 14 points, 20 rebounds, though, 4 blocks. So there you go. There you have it. They need Devin Vassell back in a major way. Did Lonzo just get lucky and they shot well on them? I mean, yeah, a little bit. It was just kicking out to the open guy, though, and making the extra pass. Suns and Lakers played a really, really good basketball game last night. The Suns, all last season, the talk was they were one of the worst clutch teams in modern history, which was shocking considering the pieces that they had. And they've looked good in the clutch so far this season, including last night. The Lakers get their first win, or their first loss of the season. They're 3-1. The Suns are 3-1 as well. And LeBron had maybe one of the worst games of his career. 11 points, 3 of 14. The double that he hasn't scored under 10 points since 2007, I think it was. Since 2007, and that was very much up in the air. He hit a 3 with like 2 minutes left to get him to 10 points, and then he made a free throw after that. I saw people tweet, man, the last time, I wasn't even alive the last time LeBron scored under 10 points. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to 5-year-olds on here. But then you think about it. It's like, you could have been born in 2007 and be 17 years old. Think about that. That's fucking sickening. Were they worse than the clutch in the T-Wolves last season? Yeah, I think by a lot of metrics, they were the worst clutch team. Just interesting. If you're the Lakers, I think you're like, you know what? We played a good game. LeBron probably played his worst game of the season. You would hope that LeBron played his worst game of the season in this one. And we were still in a position to win. So, kind of look at it like that. AD was good again in this one. And Nurkic, did you see LeBron's last free throw? Yeah, but I mean, he was trying to miss that on purpose. Nurkic benched in this game for Plumlee. Plumlee didn't attempt a shot, but he was a plus 23 and had 10 rebounds. Nurkic was a minus 20 in his 15 minutes. Nurkic has been absolute dog shit so far this season, despite his game against the Mavericks. All but one game, Nurkic has been utter shit, and it was against the Mavericks. Pretty fucking frustrating. But anyways, interesting to see what this means for Nurkic. I saw, the Suns will look for an upgrade at the trade deadline. What can they trade? What is their trade capital? Like, I'm sure they will be looking, but what is their trade capital? Nurkic? Who the fuck wants him? Yeah, shout out to Ryan Dunn as well. Ryan Dunn was incredible defensively last night on LeBron James. They got a great pick there at Ryan Dunn. He was pretty good against Luka too. I saw Suns fans beating their chest. Luka popped off in that game. Ryan Dunn got into foul trouble against Luka. But Ryan Dunn is a very, very good basketball player. Would you trade Gafford for Grayson Allen? No. And then we had the Kings get their first win of the season against the Trailblazers. I watched like the last 5 minutes of this game. I don't really know much about what happened. And that is that from last night. Last Tuesday night. Oh, I guess today's Tuesday. Last Monday night. Tonight we have a good slate of basketball games. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know any of the games. I'm just speaking out of my ass. The Mavericks play the Timberwolves tonight at 6:30, back-to-back for the Mavericks. The Timberwolves are 5.5-point favorites. That's, wow, disrespectful. It's a little bit disrespectful, although I will probably venture to guess that a lot of that has to do with the Mavericks being on the second night of a back-to-back. Nuggets play the Nets, second night of a back-to-back for the Nuggets. That's a nice little get-right back-to-back, though. You should win both of those. Raptors and Nuggets. Kings and Jazz, both those teams on the second half of back-to-back. The games in Utah, and the Pelicans and Warriors on TNT. No Steph Curry in this game, obviously, with that ankle injury. So not really a great slate, actually. But the Mavs Timberwolves do play tonight, and we will be watching it. Playback.tv/shylybias. If you're listening to this over on Spotify, please leave a 5-star review. Only if you liked it. No, even if you didn't like it, leave a 5-star review. All right, folks. Got to work on a little Derek Lively video. Little early, little Derek Lively video, and then 6:30 we'll be live on Playback. Tonight will be an interesting one since it's on TNT, so the League Pass thing will not be synced up. So tonight's stream's going to fucking suck. I'm telling you that right now. And I'm not saying it's going to suck. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be high energy, all the stuff you're used to from me. I'm saying it's going to suck for me because it's going to be nonstop complaining about not being able to see the game. Mavs Wolves is on TNT. Yep. Second TNT game in 4 games. Yeah, and do they play on TNT on Thursday night too? No, thank God. Oh, that's right. TNT. That's right. TNT's on Tuesday nights before, like, while the NFL season's going on. That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that little wrinkle. Dude, that 8:45 start time on Monday is nuts. Local game, 8:45 start time. That shit is insane. What the fuck is that? Unreal. All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Tuesday morning anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Video dropping on the channel later. Give it some love. Give it the support that it needs. And we'll be streaming tonight over on playback.tv/slightlybiased. So check us out over there. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you all later. Bye. Go vote. Bye.